Howdy, folks. My name is Kurt, and welcome to Zealot Hockey. So this is a brand new, well, relatively new game that's in the arcade. It's starting to gain some notoriety. We actually had some pretty big streamers showcasing it off the other day. I know Carbot played it, and he has a video up as well. So it's gaining a lot of notoriety lately. The map maker was Leroy, and he's been working with Reputed ever since to kind of improve it. We do have a website, zealothockey.net. So if you want to know a little bit more about the game, trying to hang out with some of the guys, put some suggestions in our forums, that'd be a great place to go. So in this video, I'm going to explain some basics to the game about the best I can. I'm obviously not the best player in the world, but I think I'm relatively decent, so I should be able to give you guys some tips. So the couple categories I'm going to be going over are going to be the basic unit controls, the scoring strategies, the defensive strategies, goalie play, and then keys to success. So let's talk about basic unit controls. I mean, obviously it's StarCraft, so right click is going to be what your unit movement is. It is on hockey, it is on ice. So you do have to be aware that you are going to be sliding all over the place, right? So it's always better to kind of roll and kind of click in like a circle to kind of keep it smoother as you can. Left click is going to be your stealing and shooting button. This is a really interesting mechanic. It's really unique to this game, and a lot of the pros really love it. It creates some really sloppy fighting for the puck. Like, it feels like if you're fighting, it's not like a cheap steal, like it would be in some other games. The next ability would be Z, the hotkey. This is also known as check, but really it's just a boost and a steal. It will automatically steal the puck if anybody's in range, and then it will boost you into that direction. So if the puck is anywhere in that boost range, then it'll be stolen. So it's a really good driving mechanic. It's really good to recover some ground if you're playing defense. The next ability would be the stop ice ability. The hotkey is X. This really makes you just change directions really quickly, and ever since it got changed to where this ability can be used at least once every second, it's definitely improved the game for sure. It's made it a lot more faster. It's a lot easier to play defense. Just a lot of overall things are easier to do now that that ability isn't hindered by a long cooldown. And the last ability is the one-timer ability. This one's hotkey is C, and this ability causes you to, the second that you receive the puck, to shoot basically the exact same power that you received a pass from in whatever direction you're pointing to. In the past, it was if you passed to somebody that was on the opposite side of the net, they would then have to start charging all the way from square one, all the way from the beginning. So if they were to tap it, it would be a really low power shot, which some goalies can reach across the net and recover from very easily. The one-timer ability is really hard to stop because it shoots practically a full power shot on the backside of what the goalie is trying to block. But I'll talk about that a little bit more in our scoring strategies. So scoring strategies, how many different are there? Well, there's about 3 different ways that you can try to score. You could utilize the slap shot technique, you can utilize the skate up and dance technique, or you can just utilize the one-timer ability, which we just talked about. Let's start with slap shot. The slap shot ability it's not really an ability, it's just basically holding down your left click until the defense gets to you and just releasing it where you think the goalie isn't going to be. It shoots a really, really fast puck, and those are really hard to block, obviously. And in the original days, the power of the maximum shot was a little bit overpowered, especially those before goalies even had force field abilities. It was a really kind of an overpowered strategy, but it is still utilized. It still can be utilized. You just got to make sure that the defense doesn't get in the way. But like others say, you can spray and pray, and hopefully eventually one lands. Next technique that I utilize, I'm actually quite fond of this one, is the skate up and dance technique. Patent pending on that name, of course. But basically what you want to do is you want to skate up in front of the goalie. Now why is this? Well, basically you're going to get a 50-50 shot if you skate up in front of the net because they are practically going to have to guess which side you're going to. Um, you can use double moves, triple moves, as much time as you have to play with, since it depends on how far the defense is behind you. So try to utilize that technique by just dancing around in front of the net and waiting for that goalie to either spam out of net by boosting out of net because he thinks that you're going to go one way, he boosts one way and you shoot the other, or just being really patient and waiting for him to leave a side open. And the last ability, the last scoring strategy is the one-timer setup. I call it a setup because it really requires two people to set it up correctly for it to be uh, used correctly. Um, Basically, what you would, in a perfect world, what you would want is for one person to be driving towards the top post of a net with the puck, and then the second person to be driving towards the bottom post of the net, and then for the top person to pass it to the person that is driving towards the bottom net, and for them to hit their one-timer ability to where it shoots in the bottom. This would cause the goalie to try and block me, who's driving towards the top post. He would block that, and then I would pass it to the person on the backside where it would be open, where the goalie wasn't at. Really hard, really complicated, for sure. It's definitely one of the hardest to set up, but it is definitely the hardest to block, for sure. Um, Basically, the one-timer ability is kind of in limbo right now. We have been discussing ways to improve it, but as of right now, your best strategy to actually activate the one-timer is to basically press C and spam it as fast as you can whenever you're anticipating the puck. Um, if you hold it down, then it will cause for power to drain off the shot, but it's very quick right now, so there's really no point in holding it if you're expecting a pass. So yeah, that is scoring strategies of the game. Some overall tips on scoring is to just always be creative. The best scorers in the game don't always use the exact same shot over and over and over again. They don't use always the same shot. They're trying to think of creative ways to think the goalie out of his normal position to make him uncomfortable. You can be driving when you're in slap shot range and he expects any force fields, and then you just skate up on him and dance and punch it in, or you can just they can expect a quick skate up, or you just pass it to someone that's in front of the net, and then they score there. You always got to be creative. That would definitely be my number one tip for people that are looking to improve their scoring game, is always think of every strategy possible. So, they say defense wins championships. Well, in this game, it's definitely true. It's very important to have a very good defense in this game for sure. Um, so, in defense, there's not really like different strategy styles. I mean, there are. You could go like man to man. You could do like a zone type scheme. Um, but as far as the game is right now, it's really just how people are feeling. I mean, sometimes in certain games, people will intentionally man up. Like if I was playing against Maharishi, who's definitely one of the best players in the game, I would rather have me on him than somebody else. That's just because I feel like I would be a better matchup on him than some of my other guys. Um, so that you can use strategies like that, but it's not widely used right now. Some techniques that you can use is like the oscillate method, and this is more of a passive type method. Basically, this makes you kind of get in front of the net where somebody is expecting to shoot, and you press your X ability to kind of oscillate back and forth. So you press X and go one way, you press X and go the other way, and you basically try to create as much surface area to block the pass as possible. This is really passive because you don't really pressure whoever has the puck, and they have all day to shoot, really, if you're doing this. But it can be effective if you know you're playing somebody that shoots a lot of slap shots. The counter to that would be really aggressive style play where you try to boost steal to create a quick breakaway, and then this ultimately leads to a one-on-one with the goalie. So the last person back with the puck on offense should always be really careful of this. They shouldn't hold the puck too long, because if one person on the defense use their boost ability to steal through them, they get the puck and they do have a one-on-one with the goalie, which is the last thing in the world that you want, especially coming directly in front of the goal. So that's a really aggressive style to play defense. The last way, which would really be the safest way, is to actually block off the passing lanes in the backside of the goalie. So we've kind of talked about this with one-timers, but the goalie's responsibility is to always block the first shot that's going to be attempted. The backside is really more of the responsibility towards the defense. It's really up to them to block off that backside, because the goalie can't block it. They're going for the initial shot. So that's a really correct way. So when you see someone skating towards the net, you should skate with them. Try to get between the person who has the puck and then that person, so that way the pass can't be completed. And our next category would be goalie play. Now, I am not one of the best goalies in the world, so I'm probably not that qualified to be talking about stuff like this. But basically, you want to utilize your force field ability to block the first shot as goalie. So as goalie X, you don't have a stop ice ability where you quickly change direction. You have a force field ability with hockey X. You always want to utilize that. Always block the first shot that's coming in. It's up to the defense to block the passing lanes to prevent one-timers. Now, if you're an incredible goalie like Gurr, he'd probably tell you something different, because I've seen him block the first shot and the second shot and the third shot. He's just all over the place, and it's definitely not my forte. Next tip I would give you would be to stay calm in net and actually use S, which stops you. So it used to be worse. The goalie used to go back and forth and oscillate like between one spot if it was clicked there. But nowadays, when you right click to move, your goalie will actually reverse direction and kind of stay in that spot. It's not really a true stop, but it would be nice to have that one of these days. But always use S to block and try to get parallel with the post, so that way it blocks more surface area. And then don't come out of the net. It is your fortress. It is your home. Do not come out of the net. It is one of the worst things that you can do. I've blocked many a shots of Serve who has been out of net and scored many a goals on him because of this. So stay in your net. So the last category I'm going to talk about today is going to be the keys to success. Pass it around. Don't be selfish. This game is made on team unity, which is definitely one of the reasons why I find it really fun. It forces you to be really good teammates, have really good chemistry. And then with that, understand your assignment. So don't go out of your way and try to steal the puck and shoot everything. Understand your assignment, pass it around, dish it around, take some shots yourself. And then the next tip I would give you would be to stay patient. When skating up on the net, it's not always the best to give away quick shots. And the last one would be to win and lose with dignity. The community really doesn't need your attitude. We're going to get along just fine without you. So yeah, that's it. That's about all I can give you guys. So if I haven't said it before, welcome to Zealot Hockey. It's definitely a really good community. We are growing every day, and I really look forward and appreciate you guys. I look forward to playing with all of you guys in game.